It's the 50th anniversary of hip-hop, and we still have a lot of discrepancies as far as the origins of hip-hop, a lot of claims, who did what, who was the first this, who was the this and that, and such and such. But at the end of the day, we need a definitive story, all right? And that story can only be told by the founders of this culture.
A new documentary looks to set the record straight on the origins of hip-hop. Microphone Check, the hidden history of hip-hop, explores the genre's roots and debunks myths about how it all started.
The film is coming to Chicago theaters this week, and joining us now is the film's director and hip-hop historian, Tariq Nasheed. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
We've been talking about this anniversary for a while now, and I cannot believe it's 50 years. What is the myth that bothers you the most?
Well, the myth about hip hop that a lot of people are promoting now is that we got hip hop from Caribbean culture. And that's no disrespect to the Caribbean culture, but hip hop came from foundational Black American culture rooted in the South, and it came to the Bronx through the Great Migrations. And we wanted to just set the record straight. The people in the Bronx at the time when they were creating hip hop, they were listening to the old funk and soul records of their parents that their parents had, and they were using those to rhyme over, and they were using those records to break dance over. So we just wanted to tell the whole true story about the genre and the culture and where it really came from.
So what about the story of this starting at a 1973 party? Is that where it all began?
Now, there has been a lot of misconceptions about that as well. Some people say that it started, hip hop was bubbling around 1970. Some people said it was bubbling around 1969. The party in 1973, and we discussed that in depth in the film. There's a lot of myth and mythology around that party itself. That wasn't the actual start of hip hop, but that was the start of a DJ named Kool Herc, who became one of the main proponents and promoters of what would become hip hop culture, because what he did, instead of doing what a lot of the other disco DJs did in New York at the time, he focused primarily on those funk break beats and catered to the young teenage crowd. So that kind of set him apart and gave him his own lane, and that trajected the culture of hip hop.
Tell me if I'm reading this right. Were there some comedians who were rhyming earlier than that?
Yes. In 1968, there was a rap song by a gentleman who was a comedian named Pig Meat Markham. He had a record called "Here Comes the Judge," and a lot of the pioneers of hip hop, they said that they were influenced by that record. So there was a lot of rhyming going on in foundational Black American culture for many, many years, going all the way back to the 1920s. So we talk about all of that in the film.
Do you think people have enough of an appreciation for the impact the early days of hip hop has had on all styles of music?
Right. That's why we wanted to talk about the real origin, so that people could have an appreciation for it, so they can understand breakdancing. And breakdancing, that was in the Olympics. Right. It was started by some of the gentlemen in the film, a gentleman by the name of Trixie, another gentleman by the name of Sasa. People should know Sasa was creating these innovative moves because he was a double jointed guy. So he could do these weird moves and twist his body in a weird way. And that's where a lot of the modern breakdancing moves came from. It came from a double jointed guy. So these things are very interesting that people should know.
Well, it's fascinating. You can see Microphone Check, the hidden history of hip hop at Century Center Cinema on North Clark. It runs from July 19th through July 26th. You can go to microphonecheck.com for more and follow Tariq on Instagram. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.